At 2:31 a.m. on February 16, 2026, a man in Tipp City, Ohio, called 911. "Oh my God, somebody broke into my home. Somebody broke into my home and shot my wife." The dispatcher asked him to stay on the line. The man was breathing hard. He was crying. "There's blood everywhere. Oh my God, oh my God, oh my God." He said she had been shot multiple times in the head. He said he didn't know if the intruder was still inside. He said his two daughters were upstairs, sleeping. The man on the phone was a former contestant on American Idol. 13 years earlier, on national television, he had looked into a camera and said this about his wife: "I love my wife more than anything. She is very, very, very pretty." Now he's charged with 11 counts, including aggravated murder. Prosecutors say he shot her multiple times in the head while their children slept in the next room, and then staged the entire scene to look like a home invasion to mislead the officers who would arrive minutes later. He says he didn't do it. This is the story of a music pastor, a volleyball coach, two daughters who slept through the worst night of their lives, and 82 hours between a 911 call and an arrest. American Idol. Staged scene, 1911 call. Tipp City sits just north of Dayton in the Miami Valley of western Ohio. About 10,000 people. Church steeples and neat lawns, a historic downtown with storefronts that still have American flags in the windows. The kind of town where neighbors wave from their driveways, where kids ride bikes until the streetlights come on, and where everybody knows whose family goes to which church. Caleb and Ashley Flynn lived on Cunningham Court, in a house that looked like every other house on the block. 2 stories, a driveway, a basketball hoop. They had 2 elementary-age daughters. In 2013, Caleb Flynn appeared on Season 12 of American Idol. He was 30 years old. He described himself as a music pastor, a man whose entire identity was built around faith and family and singing. In his audition interview, posted to the show's official YouTube channel, he told the cameras, "The thing that makes me unique, I absolutely love the Lord. I love my wife more than anything. She is very, very, very pretty. I'm just a normal person who absolutely loves to sing more than anything in the world." The judges liked him. America saw a devoted husband, a man of God. The Flynns were deeply embedded in their church community. They were active members of the Christian Life Center in nearby Butler Township. Caleb was involved in the music ministry. Church leadership described him as, quote, "very talented." Ashley taught weekly Bible-based lessons through LifeWise Academy, a nonprofit that works with public school students. But Ashley Flynn's life extended well beyond the church. She was 37 years old. She was the volleyball coach at Tippecanoe Middle School, a job she loved and that her players loved her for. She was a substitute teacher. Before that, she had been a full-time elementary teacher in the Tipp City district. She was a mother. She was the kind of person the school district would later describe as someone known for her, quote, "beautiful smile, warmth, kindness, and the positive impact she had on so many, both in and out of the classroom and on the court." Neighbors on Cunningham Court described the Flynns as the family you wanted next door. They played ball outside with the girls. At Christmas time, they baked cookies, and the daughters would deliver them to every house on the street, door to door. That was the family the neighborhood knew. That was the image. The American Idol contestant and the volleyball coach, the music pastor and the teacher, the 2 little girls delivering Christmas cookies. What happened inside the house on Cunningham Court in the early hours of February 16th shattered every part of that picture. Monday, February 16th, 2026. At 2:31 in the morning, officers from the Tipp City Police Department were dispatched to the 900 block of Cunningham Court. The call came through the Miami County Communications Center. A burglary. A resident inside who had been shot in the head. When officers arrived, they found Ashley Flynn dead inside the home. She had been shot multiple times in the head. Her husband, Caleb, was there. Their two elementary-age daughters were also inside the house. According to the affidavit filed in Miami County Municipal Court, the children had been sleeping. By 2:40, just 9 minutes later, the overnight Tipp City sergeant had alerted detectives. The detectives responded and immediately contacted the Ohio Bureau of Criminal Investigation, requesting an evidence processing team. This was not going to be a local case for long. Arrangements were made for Ashley Flynn's family to come get the two girls. At 4:28 in the morning, nearly 2 hours after the initial call, Caleb Flynn agreed to speak voluntarily with police. He was transported to the Tipp City Police Department. What he told detectives during that interview has not been made public, but the timeline suggests they spoke for hours. By 5:54 in the morning, while the sun was still below the horizon, Police Chief Greg Adkins issued the first press release. He identified the victim as 37-year-old Ashley Flynn. He asked the community for patience. He said the investigation would take time. The house on Cunningham Court was now a crime scene. Yellow tape, patrol cars parked out front around the clock, detectives going in and out through the side door to the garage and through the front door. At 11:05 that Monday morning, the Reverend Jordan Hansen, lead pastor of the Christian Life Center, sent a message to his congregation. He wrote, "A beloved member of our church, devoted servant of Jesus, and wife, mom, daughter, and so many other roles she filled with grace, devotion, and unconditional love, was murdered in her home. Ashley Flynn is with Jesus. Please pray for her husband and 2 daughters and extended family left behind. Please pray for the ongoing investigation. Please pray for God's very presence to bring comfort to an unfathomable situation. Pray for her husband." At that point, the pastor was asking his church to wrap their arms around the man who, 82 hours later, would be arrested for her murder. By 1:15 that afternoon, Tipp City Schools posted a tribute on its Facebook page. They called Ashley a beloved volleyball coach and teacher. She was known for her beautiful smile, warmth, kindness, and the positive impact she had on so many. At 1:30, LifeWise Academy held a prayer vigil. Ashley had taught there for the past year, providing Bible-based lessons to public school students off campus. And on Cunningham Court, the neighbors were in shock. One woman told reporters she was installing a security system. Others described the Flynns as a normal, active family. They said the reported home invasion terrified them. They locked their doors for the first time in years. Nobody on the street, not yet, suspected the husband. What followed was a 4-day investigation that moved faster than most murder cases and slower than the defense would later claim. By Tuesday, February 17th, the FBI, the Miami County Sheriff's Office, and the Miami County Prosecutor's Office had all joined the Tipp City Police Department on the case. This was now a multi-agency investigation. The resources being deployed suggested that investigators already had a theory, even if they hadn't announced it. On Wednesday, February 18th, investigators were seen going in and out of the Flynn house around the clock. At one point, they carried an interior door out of the home and placed it in the back of a pickup truck parked on the driveway inside the yellow police tape. An interior door, removed from the house, taken as evidence. That detail was never explained publicly, but doors can tell investigators things. Bullet trajectories, blood spatter patterns, whether a door was locked from the inside or staged to look like it had been forced open. That same Wednesday, red and white ribbons appeared along Main Street in Tipp City's historic downtown district. Residents tied them with handwritten biblical messages honoring Ashley. People who knew her called her an excellent teacher, a sweet woman, a devoted mother. That evening, the Christian Life Center held an open time of prayer and music. The community was grieving, and they were afraid. If someone had broken into the Flynn home, could it happen to them? At 10:23 that night, Chief Adkins issued a statement to address the fear and the rumors. He said reports circulating online that a suspect was in custody and had confessed were false. He called the rumors, quote, deeply detrimental to the Flynn family and unfair to those involved in this investigation. 20 hours later, the rumors turned out to be half right. On Thursday evening, February 19th at 5:07 p.m., Caleb Flynn was booked into the Miami County Jail. The charges? Murder, felonious assault, and tampering with evidence. 82 hours, from the 911 call to the arrest. The next morning, Friday, February 20th, Caleb Flynn was arraigned by video from the Miami County Jail. He appeared before Judge Samuel Huffman. He pleaded not guilty to all charges. In the video, Flynn looked directly at the camera and told the judge, "I just want to take care of my daughters. I'm not a risk." The judge set bond at $2 million. If Flynn could post it, he would be placed on house arrest with electronic monitoring. At 8:20 that morning, defense attorney L. Patrick Mulligan of the Dayton firm Mormond and Mulligan filed a notice of appearance. He was now officially representing Caleb Flynn. Within the hour, Mulligan began pushing back publicly. He told the Dayton Daily News that he was, quote, disappointed and concerned about the short timeline and seeming rush to judgment in this case, end quote. He added a warning that would frame the defense strategy going forward. When the government runs out of leads or can't develop leads and looks at a surviving spouse in cases such as these, the chance of a wrongful conviction increases. At 9:35 that Friday morning, authorities released the 911 call. The public heard Caleb Flynn's voice for the first time since his arrest, frantic, crying, begging for help. "Oh my God, somebody broke into my home and shot my wife." A Miami County grand jury would later return an 11-count indictment, including the most serious charge available in Ohio, aggravated murder. Prosecutors allege that Caleb Flynn shot his wife multiple times in the head and then deliberately staged the crime scene to look like a home invasion to mislead the officers who arrived 9 minutes after his call. He maintains his innocence. A trial date has not yet been set. This case now sits in the space between two stories, and until a jury hears both of them, neither one is the truth. In one version, an intruder entered the Flynn home in the middle of the night, shot Ashley Flynn, and fled before police arrived. The husband called 911 in a panic. He is a grieving father who lost his wife to a random act of violence. In the other version, there was no intruder. The husband shot his wife while their daughters slept, then staged the scene to look like a break-in, then called 911 and performed the role of a terrified victim. The prosecution has filed 11 counts. The defense says the investigation was rushed and sloppy, and the physical evidence, the interior door removed by investigators, the 911 audio, the body cam footage showing Flynn's demeanor when officers arrived, all of it will be contested in a courtroom. Tipp City Police Chief Greg Adkins responded to the defense's criticism directly. He said the investigation had, quote, not moved fast. He said, rather, it has progressed at a pace dictated by a thorough and deliberate investigative process. 82 hours is fast for a murder arrest, but it is also 4 days of evidence collection, interviews, forensic analysis, and consultation with the FBI and county prosecutors before a single charge was filed. Whether that timeline represents a rush to judgment or a case that built itself quickly because the evidence was overwhelming is exactly what the trial will decide. For now, Caleb Flynn sits in the Miami County Jail on a $2 million bond. He maintains his innocence. He says he wants to take care of his daughters. Ashley Flynn was 37 years old. She coached volleyball at Tippecanoe Middle School. She taught her players to show up, to work hard, and to be kind to each other. She was a substitute teacher who remembered every student's name. She had been a full-time elementary teacher before that. She taught Bible lessons through LifeWise Academy, standing in front of someone else's children every week, teaching them about grace. She was a mother of 2 little girls, the same 2 girls who were sleeping upstairs when someone in that house pulled a trigger. The school district said she was known for her beautiful smile, her warmth, and the positive impact she had on everyone she met. Those are the kinds of words people say at funerals. But in Ashley Flynn's case, they were the same words people used to describe her when she was alive. On Sunday, February 22nd, the Christian Life Center held a celebration of life for Ashley Flynn. Hundreds attended. The same church where her husband had been a music pastor. The same church whose pastor, 6 days earlier, had asked the congregation to pray for him. Nobody asked them to pray for him anymore. In downtown Tipp City, the red and white ribbons on Main Street stayed up for weeks. Shop owners left them there. Residents walked past them every day on the way to work, to school, to church. The ribbons became something the town could hold on to because everything else had become uncertain. Neighbors on Cunningham Court told reporters they were installing security systems, not because they feared an intruder, because they no longer knew what to believe about what had happened in the house next door. The family that baked cookies, the man who sang on American Idol, the wife who coached their children. Caleb Flynn has pleaded not guilty to all charges. A trial date has not yet been set. He is presumed innocent until proven guilty in a court of law. But Ashley Flynn is not coming back to Cunningham Court. She is not coaching another season of volleyball. She is not delivering cookies at Christmas. She is not standing in front of a classroom reading Bible stories to someone else's children. She is not tucking her daughters in at night. She was 37 years old. She had a beautiful smile, and she is gone. This is Unsolved Cinema. We tell the stories nobody wants to hear, because nobody else will.